Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand, 4 p.m. We are talking Qatar new bid. Apparently Qatar are willing to overpay for Manchester United to secure full ownership of Manchester United. It's my 4 p.m. show on a Friday. You've seen a lot of me today. I did think it was Monday morning this morning, but I'm now very well aware it's Friday. And we've also got a special guest, a new addition to the United Stand who's been very good over the course of this season and one of my favourite people to talk to about Man United. We've got Faz.
Thank you very much. You're very kind today.
I know, it was a good intro, that, wasn't it?
The Qatar bid is making you feel really nice, isn't it?
It is. Apart from the fact he was nearly late that we couldn't go live.
Superstar timing.
Diva just walks up onto set and gets going. I mean, Faz, let's get into things straight away. I mean, we spoke about Qatar and Sir Jim before, but it's coming out from Cavi, it's Sky, that Qataris are ready to overpay for Manchester United and the Glazers still want $6 billion. What do you make of this?
I think now I'm feeling a lot more confident about this whole bidding situation. So far, I've been a bit sat back thinking it might be someone along the lines of like an investment, you know, some American investment or something. But I'm very happy to hear something like this. It shows that the Qataris are very serious. They really want the club. And it also shows that the Glazers are willing to sell, full sale. That's what we want. We don't want investments. We don't want you to entertain the likes of these American hedge funds. I'm glad that the Qataris... And you know what? It also shows how massive Man United is. Because last time I checked, I thought FSG were going to sell their club. And look what happened. Nobody wants to buy FSG, do they? But the Qataris are hell-bent on trying to buy Manchester United, the biggest club in the world. And what a time to be alive. I'm sure Ten Hag, in the back of his mind, will be really glad to hear stuff like this coming through.
Do you know what? It's the fact you had to get a sneaky Liverpool dig in there again. As per usual, you have to do it. I mean, actually, Faz, I mean, we'll keep on this. I'll ask you about Arsenal a bit later, actually. Because I saw your video going live. But I've seen, obviously, Sir Jim was going to Carrington today. I've seen a lot of people, I don't know what organisation they're from, I can't quite remember, so I won't say it unless it's the wrong one, but holding up, we only want Qatar, Glazers out banners in front of Carrington, where all the representatives are. Do you know what? Fair play to the fans that are going out and standing doing that, because that is respect. It's the right thing to do, but it does seem like the majority of the fan base are fully on board with Qatar. I feel like Qatar's feeling that. I mean, there was reports coming out earlier that they weren't going to overpay. Now it's looking like they will. How quick could this get done, do you reckon? I
think it should be getting done by the summertime, before the summer transfer window kicks in. For you know, news like this to come out that Qatar are willing to overpay or make a higher bid to kind of push Jim Ratcliffe aside says to me that this deal should get done. And I think the Glazers will realise that there has never been a time like this for them to sell. The club is on a high. The club is going in a very good direction. We're going to be qualifying, hopefully, for Champions League as well. This is the perfect time for them to cash out and leave the club. The Glazers as well, look, this sale will change their lives. The Glazers are billionaires, but they are not cash billionaires. They're billionaires based on the asset like Manchester United. They will have to think, you know, we've heard reports about their family members wanting to opt out, things like that. And I think now the pressure's going to build on them to really think, do we want this anymore? I think it's about time to hand over the club to the Qataris, cash out. Yeah, you've done whatever you've done, and now with the money, go and, you know, just do what you need to do. And we want to look forward to our future. And our future is not with Sir Jim Ratcliffe.
Oh, you're already going there with the Sir Jim stuff. You're going straight away in with that. I mean, I've never been more confident that this is going to be a full sale. I know there was reports coming out over previous weeks. People were worried about these Elliott investments and all these investment funds that we didn't quite know about, wanting to keep the Glazers in charge or as part of the club. I actually don't think that's going to happen. I think it is going to be a full sale. I could bet, if I was a betting woman, I would put quite a bit on that. I think it is going to be Qatar. I think they are the most likely option. Obviously, I've heard reports coming out that the Glazers like Qatar because they want to have a good relationship with them for potential business deals over in Qatar. And you know, there are great contacts to have. So, I mean, I personally, especially if Sky are reporting this as well, if Sky are reporting that they were prepared to overpay and want to go again for Manchester United, and obviously we know that the contacts yesterday lasted over 10 hours. It was really good contacts. I think it's honestly a matter of time before this happens, and I can definitely see this happening before the summer transfer window. And I tell you what, bring on a summer transfer window under Qatar. I mean, we have a lot of comments coming in the chat saying the Glazers should buy Liverpool.
Yes, please. Oh, please.
Could you imagine?
Oh, I will celebrate that day. I'll be Glazers in if they buy Liverpool.
Can you remember? Imagine when Fabrizio actually puts out that "Here we go, Qatar to buy United."
Oh wow!
The internet's going to explode.
Yeah.
Literally,
you know,
explode.
one of the main things that people need to understand why I really want Qatar more than Sir Jim Ratcliffe is because Sir Jim Ratcliffe has already owned a football club, right? OG Nice, and look how has he made that organisation any better than what it already was? Do you understand? What level has he taken that club to? He's brought in apparently his friend to become a director in the club and etc. But all you have to do is speak to the fans of that club and ask them, is your club any better than when he brought the club? What has he done? What has he added value? I need value added to my club. I need a new stadium. I need better infrastructure. Like the Man United Academy versus Leicester Academy game. I was on the way to the game, the Academy game, and the game was called off because the pitch is flooded. This is embarrassing for a Manchester United organisation. This is embarrassing. I need value added to my organisation, and the Qataris will go toe-to-toe, compete with everyone in the world of football. They'll want to compete with Bayern. They want to compete with Man City, who will become a small club again once Qatar buy us. And that's what I want. I want to look forward to a better future, not a future where Sir Jim Ratcliffe is just here and he's trying to be all of this, PR around. I love Manchester. I love Man United. I don't need that. I need business.
Yeah, I like that. I was talking about it on the morning show actually, and people are asking me, and I was saying personally I prefer Qatar, and then obviously questions get asked about, moral side of things and stuff like that, which we won't get into because it's really, we want to talk about the football, if I even be honest right now. I touched on that in the morning show. But I just think, obviously, if we, Sir Jim or nothing, it's Sir Jim over the Glazers, 100% it's Sir Jim over the Glazers. But when I look at what both them parties can offer me, Qatar's up here, Sir Jim reaches this level, and it's there's just no going past that. And it's crazy to think because of how rich he actually is, but there just isn't. Immediately the debt's cleared, immediately there's insurgence of money, immediately the stadium's going to get going straight away. It's just, for me personally, is what's going to bring Manchester United back to the top quickest, soonest, and probably the smoothest way as well. And I think that does go with Qatar. And obviously they massively want to buy it. And we've got a chat in here from Stephen Gallagher, the member of 4 months the United Stand. Thank you very much for that, Stephen. Qatar doesn't set up an entire foundation to buy Manchester United only to lose out on the bidding process. The bidding process is only a formality.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I need them. This shows that they're willing to put the right people in the right positions to make deals happen. I don't need the likes of Jim Ratcliffe to come in and bring his friend over to be a director. That's not what I want. I want, the Qataris to come in, and one thing they will do is, if they don't know something, they will hire someone who knows what to do, and they will put them in the position to go and make decisions, the best decision for the club. And that's what I want. Look at, Man United being the organisation that it is. Look at what they've done with PSG, the other consortium or the other group that they are in the same umbrella. They've come leaps and bounds with PSG. Sure, they don't have the Champions League and etc. yet where they've messed up, but nonetheless, they've made the organisation way better than it already was. And that's what, imagine the things we could do. Imagine our tours, our pre-season tours, our fan experience, no more queuing to get a hot cup of tea. We probably get heated seats in Old Trafford with Qatar.
I tell you
don't
what,
get me excited.
I mean, I'm going on a tangent here, but I expect an upgrade on the food and drink facilities at Old Trafford if they come in. When I go into a game, often I've been at the studio all day. I'm really hungry. I'm go there and I'm like, where's my options?
Yeah.
I've either got a Balti pie or a stale hot dog. Do you know what I mean? It's where are my options? I mean, that's not the first class thing that we need to worry about, but stadium, 100%. I mean, I saw disgusting videos from the last game where the men's urinals were just going overflowed. It's just, it needs sorting quickly, and I do think Qatar straight away will just be get the best people in, let's do this. I mean, people are talking about how Sir Jim's actually there in person today. Al-Thani obviously wasn't there yesterday, he sent his representatives, but what people sometimes struggle to understand is people of this amount of wealth get people to do the jobs for them, and they get people of the best quality. It's like Manchester City, they have a problem with financial fair play. Lawyers coming out, I can't remember what it's called, and it's £80,000 a day, I think he costs, or something like that. They pay people to do the best job, so I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am. And when I saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe, was he outside Old Trafford today, or was it Carrington? A video of him.
Yeah, he was outside Old Trafford.
I'll be honest, no disrespect, but it seems like a bit of a photo shoot thing for me. I've seen pictures of him outside Old Trafford, taking photo shoots and profile pictures. Don't need that. I need people behind the scenes who I don't see, who are shot calling and making the proper moves for the club. And more so, we don't need you front line. We don't. We need you to just give us the checkbook. Ten Hag is here, Van der Gaag is here, Stephen McLaren is here. Get us a CEO, Myrtle and Arnold, do something with them, maybe put someone in there as well. Get us a proper scouting network and just relax in your Qatari mansion. You don't need to do anything else. We'll handle everything else. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, in the chat, Sir Jim was able to buy nice kit at the gift shop. Good lad. Oh, I don't want to be disrespectful because you know what? He's trying his best to buy this club, but it's not about sentiment right now. It's about who's going to do the best job, isn't it? And Thomas James says the Qatar propaganda is embarrassing. We're not trying to spread Qatar propaganda. We're just giving our opinions on what we would personally prefer. There'll be many people out there who prefer Sir Jim. Majority of people I speak to are on the Qatar train, though, if I'm being honest with you. And I could see that online today. A lot of people, when Sir Jim was pictured outside, some people they're massively on the Qatar train. But it's what you want for the football club. I can understand both points of view. I really can, without going into too much detail. We're on here to give our opinion, and that's what's going to happen. But let's move on to a little bit of other news. And I wanted to bring this up. Yeah, I'll bring this up now, actually. I'll bring the Arsenal stuff up now. I mean, Faz, I saw your video. If anyone's not seen it, Faz's Instagram, he broke his Wi-Fi from celebrating Arsenal going out of the Europa League. Some good teams still left in it, but Arsenal are out. Yeah. Sevilla in the draw. You know what comes next. I'm sure you know the semi-final draw as well, potentially. What's your thoughts on it all?
Firstly, champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. Where's Zayn Miassi now?
He was in the chat this morning.
Where is he now? Like, Zayn, please, man, hold your tears. Arsenal, you're not built like this. Stay in your lane, Premier League and whatever, but checking in a hotel in Europe, this is not, you were out of your depth. That's what it was. They were out of their depth. Sevilla, though, I'll be honest, I'm a bit concerned because our record against Sevilla. I mean, they might as well, if we beat Sevilla, they might as well hand over the La Liga trophy to us this season because we've pretty much beat everyone. Spain, every team in Spain is getting drawn against us. But I think I would have liked to get a different team just to kind of see it through. I don't want to kind of go into the quarterfinals feeling a bit edgy. And Sevilla is probably one of the only teams that make me feel a bit on edge because of the record that we had. And they know, man, Sevilla, they know how to come and play against Man United, even in Old Trafford. So I'm a bit on the back foot, I'll be honest. I wonder what Ricky thinks as well. He'll probably say it's a tough game, won't he?
He messaged me and said he was over the moon purely because he gets to go back to Spain, and we know it's his second home at this point. He said he's buzzing about it, but to me personally, I think about Sevilla. I'm on the same train as you. I mean, 3 Europa Leagues in a row they won under Emery. Yeah. It's their competition. Yeah. They know it, and they don't have Emery or Lopetegui anymore. Like they don't have that, the managers that have won it previously with them, but they have experience and they know how to win the Europa League. Like they do. But I also think to myself, Beth, with Man United, Eric Ten Hag is cooking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've beat first place La Liga Barcelona. We've beat 5th place Betis. We've beat Sociedad, who I think are 3rd or something like that. I don't know where Sociedad are right now, but I know they're higher up in the table than Sevilla. Sevilla are playing, no disrespect, because Sevilla are playing Alex Tellez as left back. Do you know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, but I liked Alex Tellez when he came in. He's not up to standard. Like, they're not as high a quality of team as us. Like, they're not. We should be winning that game, but I know what you mean. It's like a bogey team for us. Yeah. It really is a bogey team, like semi-final flashbacks, final flashbacks. It's just one of them teams you do really want to kind of avoid. But we've got him, and it saves potentially Sporting or Juventus for the semi-final. The script is written, isn't it?
Yeah, but my the other side of my concern is the players I have available going into that game. Garnacho is probably not going to be available, is he?
Eriksen will be back.
But is he going to be back fully? How is Ten Hag going to throw him in into these games, or is he going to ease him back in? We'll have to see McTominay and Fred for a little while as well in the build-up to that game. I'm a bit concerned. Sancho still isn't playing a good 45, 60 minutes a game as well. It's just everything is going through Rashford. Weghorst, every goal he scores is a slide tackle. I'm just
every goal he scores.
Yeah, I'm just a bit on the back foot with Sevilla. They really know how to defend. They'll sit and hold off all night if they need to for one chance, and they'll be looking at this and thinking, you know what, they will be more confident than us. Let's be honest, because they've beaten us how many times already? This is their competition. This is the players, the managers, the fans. It's like, this is our competition.
We've never beat them, apparently. Charlie's just told me.
Oh my God! Yeah, I just checked the record before I came here. I think the last 3-4 years we haven't beat them. So another thing. But then the confidence that I have is Ten Hag has said all errors must come to an end. All records, everything must come to an end, and it's Ten Hag who might end up damaging this severe run, the bad run that we've had, and hopefully, and Marcus Rashford can hopefully get us a big result. Obviously, there's no away goals, is there, as well?
No.
So yeah.
Especially when you think about before this season, I mean, Spanish teams, they were a no-go for us.
Yeah.
We struggled so badly against Spanish teams, but this season, Erik ten Hag's kind of broke that juju that we've had with Spanish teams, and we've been doing well. So I trust in Erik ten Hag, and do you know what? Martial's going to be back fit. He's going to score. He's going to be like Sevilla fans.
Please, forgive me, please. Don't mention Martial, please.
I'm going to be mentioning him in a minute.
I'm going to be sweating here, sat here sweating, please. Not Martial.
I mean, Ricky was over the moon because if you didn't hear in the press conference today with Erik ten Hag, he said he got asked about if he thought at the start of the season Rashford could score 30 goals and whatever he's doing now. And he said, he didn't even get asked about Martial. And in his answer, he said, yeah, I said Rashford and also Martial could score 30 goals at the start of the season. So Ricky messaged me, he was like, might be the only guy on the planet that loves Martial as much as me. Always mentions him in a positive way.
No, it's not. You're picking on things to try and suit a narrative that, oh my God, the manager loves him. Fact is, the manager's fed up of him. No player, the manager doesn't love players that are not there playing for him and wanting to get something out of games. No manager will love injury-prone players. It's not how it works.
Well, there's been rumours coming that we're open to selling him in the summer. I think he thinks he's a brilliant player. I just don't think, I think he's, like you said, when you're planning ahead, it's tough. It's tough. Keel Robertson TV says, I don't care about superstitions, we will win. And that is the right attitude to have.
I want to kind of...
A lot of people are putting Willems in the chat.
I want to...
Williams?
I don't know what that means.
Williams? Has Mark sent you over from Twitch? I feel like Mark sent him over from Twitch.
I kind of want to feel a little bit confident. And you know me, I get clipped easily. But
you get clipped every week.
If we can,
I clip him.
If we can beat Barcelona, what is Sevilla? If we can beat Barcelona, what is Sevilla? Like, let's be honest.
Do you know what was funny? Before, the chat was saying, Faz saying humble after his Liverpool.
No,
and now he's signing around.
Nobody has a bigger ego when it comes to Man United and beating these big teams. But if we beat Barcelona only conceded 7 goals in La Liga when we played them, and we scored 4 in 2 legs. If we can do that to them, Sevilla is a piece of cake. It's chocolate fudge brownie that we had during that game. It's easy. It should be.
It was nice that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it should be easy. It's just I'm missing some players, and it hurts knowing that Garnacho is not there. Eriksen may not be fully ready for that game, or if he is, he might not have match rhythm. No idea about Martial. It's just Weghorst, Rashford and Anthony, so they'll have to carry us, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people in the chat coming from, I feel like it's Mark's stream on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Do stay around. Even watch it from the start, because there's already been a few bangers in there from Faz. A few things that I'm going to be clipping up later, trying to make him go viral again. But no, seriously, we were just talking about Martial. I don't know if you've heard. He's fit, training with the full team. This is what we've heard about now. He gets asked about Martial or injuries, and he says Martial won't be available for Fulham, and Anthony probably will see his progress, but you probably won't be either. Thoughts?
Good. I think what Ten Hag is doing with him is, this time he said, I don't care if you go on your knees and beg, because we heard last time Martial begged the manager, said, play me please, you know, or something like that. It came out, Everton game or something, where he played a couple of minutes and they had to go off. Ten Hag said it doesn't matter, until your body is solid, rock solid, and until you can show me that, because you have to earn my trust. You're a fantastic player. I can play you 15 minutes, 20 minutes in a game, but it's not good enough for me. I need 90-minute players, and especially now we're going into 120-minute territory now. So I need players who can play 120 minutes solid. For that, he has to show Ten Hag that he can. He has to also show resilience. I don't think I remember another player getting injured during training this many times as well. So I'm glad he's not thrown him in any game yet and just kept him solid. And also, if he has one more injury this season now, I think he's possibly unsellable. At this point, he'll be unsellable. Don't matter if you're prime Ronaldinho. If you're unsellable, you're no good to anyone. No good to anyone. So, yeah, I'm glad. Let him go into international break. You know, pressure cook him a bit more. and then bring him back into the latter half of the season, and we see what he can do.
I was saying, I genuinely think like you said, I think Ten Hag's just completely saving him and trying to build his body up. He's kind of gone to the same people that have got Varane fit. He said, look, what do I need to do with this guy? Because obviously bringing him back and throwing him straight in is not doing anything for me. He keeps getting injured. And you know what? If he can potentially bring him back, say after the international break, and he stays fit, that is a huge asset to us. It really is. A huge asset. I'm not counting my chickens right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Anthony out as well.
Anthony, fix up, man. I'll tell you. This is not good. Couple of run of games and then you're out. Couple of run of games and then you're out. Don't know what's going on. Do we know the injury as well? No, we don't. It's just apparently he's ill. You need to start having some Actimel, some immune system strengthening, because you can't be getting ill just so often. He's gone ill before as well. He's joined the Sancho club, being ill every week. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's only his first season. Looking at his Ajax record as well, he's been okay. But I've always noticed it's always international break. It's always have you noticed? I've not. Last time World Cup. Oh yeah. International, he was off. Now international break, he's off. Has he been selected? Don't know. Yeah, he has as well. He has. Yeah. So I'm just saying. That's frustrating if that's the case. It's a coincidence, isn't it? He really wants to get that Brazil spot, that starting spot. He really does. You can tell. It means a lot to him, because World Cup, he said, I'm done. And we see players do this all the time, by the way. So not, he probably saw Sadio Mane get injured and said, whoa, I'm not risking that. Sadio Mane got injured and his World Cup was over. I'm not risking. And Brazil were favourites to win the World Cup as well. So yeah, he's probably wanting to go international break strong. That's probably what it is. It's frustrating because it's such an important game for us, Fulham, as well, in the weekend. Really important. And if obviously, it's just speculation. That might not be the case at all. Sure. But we need everyone on board, especially for the game against Fulham. And it makes you appreciate, players that are always available to play for the club. It might not be for anyone's fault, but you've got to appreciate them. Keel Robinson TV, we played CR7, we lost. We played Martial, we won. Interesting. I mean, everyone knows Martial's better for the team than Ronaldo at this point, surely. Game? I don't know what team game he's on about. Well, we played Weghorst and we won. Yeah. What are you trying to say? It's different characters and the way what works for Eric Ten Hag's system as well. Yeah. And Varane took a long preparation break for the World Cup. He was injured, though, to be fair. Jack Lansley says Fastamil. Sponsored by Aptamil. And Abdul Kayum says, I'm afraid Martial will run down his contract and leave on a free. What club is going to pay a fee for his wages, knowing how injury prone he is? That's fine. Do you know what I mean? I want Martial to play. I want him to be fit. But if he's not available, no one's buying him. No one. I heard some links about PSV or whatever, but no one's buying him for 200 grand a week. No one's buying him for 200 grand a week. No one. It's too much money to be paying a player who's not available for more than 70% of the season, something crazy. By the way, in the last 3 seasons, every season his minutes have gone down by 1,000. 1920 season he played 3,000 odd minutes. 2021 season he played 2,000 odd minutes. Last season he played 1,000 odd minutes, and this season he's played 700. Every season his minutes have collapsed drastically, and it's not good at all. I mean, moving on from Martial, let's move on to an exciting talent that we spoke about, which is Facundo Pellistri. Yeah. And he's been speaking for us. I don't know if you've seen it before I came on. No. He's been speaking, and he got asked about a loan next season, and he said it's still too early to think about that. My focus is on the team, on helping the team win as many trophies as possible this season, and then we'll see what happens. To me, that seems like he wants to try and prove himself here first. Yeah, that does. And it's great. You saw in that performance that he did last game how eager he is. And how you could just see the excitement, the way he plays in himself. And rightly so. You have to believe in yourself that I am deserving enough to stay in this organisation. And if he performs and he does well, now that Garnacho's out as well for a few weeks, Sancho's still not back fully, Pellistri, this is the perfect time for him to prove. If Wan-Bissaka can make Ten Hag think, I don't need to buy a right back, Pellistri, you can make Ten Hag think, I don't need to loan you. I really think so. He has that in him. He just needs run of minutes now, which he will get, I think, and he just needs to keep improving and going from strength to strength, game in, game out. It's not. I'm not gonna, go a bit too crazy and say Pellistri is a star boy and etc. etc. But what I will say is a fantastic talent, and players like that is what we want to see in Man United. I don't want to see players like that go on loan. I think he's a star boy.
I honestly do. I think
don't
it's a
want to
start
go
boy
that
waiting
far.
to happen. I really do.
It's too early.
I see really. Do you know what? People in the chat, if you've seen previous shows, 'cause sometimes people remember. Not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but you know when you say stuff early.
Yeah.
I called Palestri for so long. I was shouting for him to get minutes. Like, I could just see the quality there, and I'm so glad people are finally starting. I mean, a lot of the fan base already saw it, but I'm so glad the manager's starting to play him. And do you reckon he'll play against Fulham?
I think so.
Anthony's out.
I think so, yeah.
Over Sancho?
So. Yeah, I think so. His style actually would fit Fulham as well. I think just going on to the Fulham game will be a very intense game, and you know, Silva is going to come out with his Solomon and his wingers as well, trying to constantly press us and whip balls into our box. We need a player who's fast on the wings, ready to attack their full-backs as well. And Palestri would be the right guy. I would absolutely love Garnacho because he's already done damage to Fulham this season already. But Palestri's time to shine, basically. That's how I'm going to say it. I'm not going to go too far and say this, that, the other, because players have little bursts of performance and then they dip off as well. So I want to be very careful.
What I liked about Palestri, though, is a lot of people were saying, oh, he's only doing it when he's coming off the bench against tired legs. He started and played a full game, and I thought he was good. He wasn't amazing.
Sure.
He was good.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to see. I like to see a player earning a starting spot at the club, and I think he's definitely on the right path to doing that. I just seen the chat there saying, has Mourinho ever lost a final? Because obviously we know he could get Roma in the final in Budapest. I just looked it up. He's only ever lost one final, and it was against Chelsea in the 2018 FA Cup with Manchester United.
Yeah, Ten Hag versus Mourinho Europa League final is probably the sexiest fixture.
It's a box office. Yeah, it is a box office.
Even Champions League final won't be as dreamy as Ten Hag versus Jose Mourinho. Attack versus park the bus or mind games and everything. And I have a soft spot for Jose Mourinho. He's one of my favorite individuals, let alone a manager. I'm really excited. I would have loved Roma. I would have loved a trip to Roma. But if they can delay it to the final, wow. Yeah,
never mind paying for, you know, all this, you know, YouTuber boxing stuff. I mean, you could sell that. Jose Mourinho, Eric Ten Hag.
Wow.
That is box office stuff, and honestly, I'm just praying we get there. I would have rather had Roma over two legs as well, because I feel like they're more beatable over two legs. Jose Mourinho in a final, you just don't know what you're going to get. Honestly, he's such a character. I say it all the time. I wish he was still in the Prem. I know he's not right for United, but it was sad letting him go. I thought he was a brilliant character, and you know what's going to happen as well. You know Ricky's love for Matic.
Yeah.
A little Matic header maybe in the last minute. I mean, I honestly don't even start it, but it'd be brilliant, honestly.
He'd be celebrating Matic's goal as well.
He wouldn't. He'd be like, I told you, and no one listened to me. No, but honestly, that'll be box office stuff. I can't wait for that. I honestly cannot wait for it. And Black Wolf says Jose Mourinho is done. I won't write him off.
Never.
I wouldn't write him off.
Never.
And
he won the conference last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
You can't. But he's still winning trophies. He just won a trophy last season. I don't know how you mean he's done. No.
And Nicholas Yu, Mourinho record in finals is insane. People saying he's finished have some respect. Yeah, he could. In a final, he's just unbelievable. Do you remember when Spurs sacked him before that final? It was ridiculous.
Worst decision, Spurs' history.
It was why?
Worst decision. Daniel Levy, it regrets that a bit now.
It just shows how poorly they kind of run things over there, honestly. Because that was a shocker, an absolute shocker. I mean, moving on to the Fulham game on Sunday, we spoke about Budapest, we need to speak about Wembley.
Yeah.
Fulham game, no Casemiro. Eric Ten Hag kind of said, obviously I'd love to have him available, but it's no excuse. We've still beat teams this season without him, we can do it. Are you worried? Because I'm going to be honest, I look at Solomon, threat. Mitrovic, threat. Pereira, been good for them this season. Paulina, brilliant in midfield. Tim Ream at centre-back's been great this season. Like, I look all over the pitch.
He's not even missed a game, has he?
No, he's been brilliant. And even Leno, the goalkeeper, was a good signing from, like, this team are going to be confident coming to Old Trafford, aren't they? Yeah,
very confident. I think Silva now, what he's going to try and do is the direction. You know, Silva is a very seasoned manager himself, and he's had success with this team. He's won them championship, which is a huge accolade to win because championship is such a hard league. Now he's come and they've kind of started proving that Fulham, we're not a yo-yo team anymore. We're a respectable team, and you know what? They had I think a few seasons ago or a while ago when they had the little Europa burst as well. Fulham will be thinking, you know what, we can actually go and do something here. We could go to Old Trafford, turn them over, because they don't have Casemiro, they don't have Eriksen, they don't have Garnacho. Sancho is still, you know, not a threat to us. The only threat that we actually possess is Rashford and maybe Anthony in a knockout stage, and Anthony's not even in there. So they'll be thinking, well, we're getting players added. Solomon's doing well, Mitrovic is fantastic. Paulinho is now back from the suspension as well, and I think Paulinho has played an abundance of minutes for Fulham as well this season. I don't think he's barely been benched. They'll be really up for it, really up for it. And we need to be very careful how we approach this team. Like I said before on the other show as well, they'll be referring to the West Ham game a lot, thinking, look at how many chances West Ham got 1v1. Look at Leicester game. Again, these are our recent games, 1v1 chances. They will think with no Casemiro in there, how can they infiltrate the likes of McFred in the midfield, or Sabitzer and Scott, or whoever it is. I think it's the midfield that they'll concentrate on the most and try and win that midfield battle. And my main, concern is the game that we just recently watched against Betis. Even though it was away, did you just see the amount of space that we leave in midfield? Imagine you leave that sort of space for the likes of Paulinho or anybody like a Solomon. You give him any space in the half space. This is dangerous. Very dangerous. We're playing with fire, and Fulham, they get one goal, I think they'll be really rocking, and we need to be very, very on our toes that game. I want to get a goal early just to settle the nerves.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, you look at our bench, say if it is Pellistri, Weghorst and Rashford that start, you look at Power to bring off the bench. Usually you've got that little Garnacho sub up our sleeve, did damage at Craven Cottage early on in the season. And I look at the bench, and the only real hitters you have to bring on is Sancho, who right now for me doesn't look like a threat, and Elanga, who also doesn't look like a threat. So you've not really got anything off the bench as well. So it's tough. It's tough.
Absolutely nothing. If the players don't get a response early on in the game, Ten Hag has to look at his bench and say, who can I trust? Who's going to be that player that I can bring on and the moment of magic can occur from him? Garnacho's been that player all season. His stat alone, I remember you saying, off the bench he's been the best player with his stats in the league. Pellistri hasn't shown that he can be a problem solver yet. He's had good performances, but he's not been a problem solver. Garnacho's been our main problem solver. You have a problem, a draw, something, you needed a goal, you needed an assist, put on this kid and he'll do something. I'm very concerned about our bench, I am.
I must say, actually, with Pellistri, more often than not, when he's come on, he has contributed to a goal. Yeah. And he has been getting the ball in the box quite a lot. So maybe in terms of more of an assist kind of way, Garnacho will come up with Garnacho has obviously more firepower, and he scores brilliant goals, and you're going to get something from him, and he's been brilliant. But Pellistri had something. One thing I want to touch on, because we've spoke about this quite a lot, is, we're speaking about he might start, he might well start, but it looks like in our starting 11, Jadon Sancho isn't in there. And it's like, we're talking about bringing off the bench, and we're like, oh, is it really going to add much? He's got to play at least some minutes. I think it's his time to really shine if he comes off the bench, or if he plays against Fulham in FA Cup, on the brink of Wembley.
It's a weird one. I don't know if it'll be the right time for him to do something now and then head off to international break.
True.
It's better if he does something well and then he then can build on it. But if he has a really good performance against Fulham, which I hope he does if he features, he then goes off to international break, and there's a good few weeks where he's got no games. I would prefer if Ten Hag obviously starts at the front three that we discussed with Pellistri, Weghorst and Rashford, and Sancho just kind of go into international break and work with him more. That's all we can ask for. Work harder, try and prove that you deserve, to start or even be part of this organisation. That's what we want. Pellestri's doing that. Bissaka, every single player is doing that. Fred has done that. We wanted to rip up Fred's contract, and Fred has had good goals this season. He's had good contributions to this team. That's what Sancho needs to do.
Yeah, we want to see the work ethic, don't we? We want to see the drive, the ambition, and hopefully we get to see that. I'm still rooting for him, but put in the chat down below, actually. Should we get a poll going, Charlie? We'll get a poll going asking, would you start Pellistri or Sancho at the weekend against Fulham? Would you start Pellistri or Sancho? I'm interested to see that poll going. We'll get that going now. Also, people in the chat are saying, you mentioned McFred, that you don't want to see McFred play. I don't think we will. I think Sabitzer's there to... I don't think Ten Hag is a fan of McFred at all. I think Sabitzer's definitely going to start this game. I think he's nailed on.
Yeah, I don't think McFred will start, but I think it's a thing. It's a thing where we might end up seeing it. That's the thing. We might end up seeing it. Having a Sabitzer and a McTominay doesn't make sense as much as having a Sabitzer and a Fred, right? That makes more sense to have in your midfield. You have one guy with extreme energy, one guy who can sit and hold off, phases of play when the opposition's attacking. Having McTominay and Fred, it doesn't work. But hopefully Sabitzer doesn't take a knock or anything as such, But McFred is we're very close to McFred, back to McFred. And yeah, nobody wants to see it. I myself, but I'm just preparing myself in case. You never know what this manager does.
I'd honestly been thinking about it, even though Fred's been really good as of late, and I've done a video on Fred actually that I want to put out there. I think Fred's been brilliant. I would be tempted to start McTominay just for the defensive safeness. Do you know what I mean? And allow Sabitzer to do that box-to-box role a bit more and get forward, help Bruno. I think Sabitzer offers more in attack.
I don't see it happening. I know what you're trying to say, but I see him playing Fred more. Who deserves more reward?
It's true, but I just think Sabitzer can get forward better than Fred, potentially, and McTominay can hold. Who
do you think will create a better chance, Fred or Sabitzer, in the final third?
I think Sabitzer. Do you think Fred?
Yeah, I do think it will be Fred.
And Fred's been great recently, has been.
His assist in Barca was...
It was great. It was great. I just think Sabitzer's his passing's better.
Even to Bruno, he did an assist this season.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I definitely wouldn't be mad about it if Sabitzer and Fred do start. I'm just worried about the openness of the midfield, like you say. I'm worried about it, but we'll see what other people starts as well. And got the poll going. Who would you start versus Fulham? Can you guess the percentage, Faz?
Pellistri is winning by like 70%.
66% Pellistri, 34% Sancho. Do you know what could be a good sub though? He'll start with Weghorst, bring Weghorst off and you need a goal. Sancho on the left, Rashford up front, Pellistri on the right. That could definitely work, I think.
Yeah. It all depends if we end up getting a goal or two.
Do you know what, Faz? A lot of people were impressed with Sancho's cameo. Were you impressed?
We're not Cameo FC. I'm sorry. He's not a youth player. Why are we getting impressed by Cameo? Beth, let me introduce you to Ten Hag's most famous quote, good is not good enough. But is good enough for you guys? Because it ain't good enough for me. It's not good enough for me. I don't get impressed by having good cameos. I get impressed by solid 80 minutes, 70 minutes, a good hour of football.
But to be fair to him, that's only what he's given, isn't it?
Why?
But is that because he's not good enough right now?
Obviously, he's not getting the manager's trust to start. He's had a game when he played 80-odd minutes. Charlie, if you could let us know which game that was. It was when he came back. He had a run of a game of small minutes, and then he went on to play him, I think, 80 or 70-odd minutes. After that, why has he not given him an hour or so? If you want to raise that question, you have to raise your question to Ten Hag.
Well, he started in the last game, didn't he? Against Southampton and then dropped him for Betis.
Why is he doing that?
Interesting stuff. I don't know. If anyone needs to chat down below what they think, I just don't think he trusts him, like you said, yet.
He's not impressed, is he? Because if he's impressed, he'll give you minutes.
If Pellistri got minutes because he was impressed by him.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Ten Hag's the type of man, he seems like a fair manager. If you're impressing, if you're putting the work in, if you're doing well in training, he's going to give you that opportunity. He's going to give you that chance. Like Wan-Bissaka, look at Wan-Bissaka. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Facts.
There's a reason for it. And the only thing I can think of is either not up to standard in training or just simply not good enough the standard that he wants right now, which is interesting. And apparently it was Pellestri's first start in over 800 games since he joined the club. Still 66% on Pellistri. Yeah. So, anyway, let's move on to the next thing. I wanted to ask you quickly, Faz, before we move on to the last bit of the show. I wanted to ask you, I saw a lot of comments in the chat asking about this, so this is just my question to put to you, because I know you're a huge fan. Gonzalo Ramos, a lot of people saying we should be looking at him more highly. People should be looking at this kid more highly, looking at him. 21 years old. I know Faz is a big fan, so I just kind of want you to say why you want this player and why you like him.
Yeah, if you are a fan of Gonzalo Ramos, I like you a lot. I like you a lot. Because people are getting really over the moon about Victor Osimhen, and rightly so. Fantastic player, world-class player. I think if Victor Osimhen, by the way, if he goes on to do well in the Champions League, he'd be in the conversation for Ballon d'Or. And rightly so. But Gonzalo Ramos, right, first bullet point 1, 21 years of age, and he's a monster. He's an absolute biological specimen, this guy is. He's tall, he's strong, he's broad. He's both great with both feet. Second, right, look at the numbers he's putting up right now. I think he's at 35 games, and in 35 games, he's at 32 goals and assists. That's crazy. For a 21-year-old, that is ludicrous for Benfica. Absolutely ludicrous. If that was a 21-year-old, you know, with a little bit more hype, people would be going, you know, crazy about. Haaland puts up fantastic numbers, and he's very young, and obviously he's doing that in the Premier League. I think Gonçalo Ramos, a player like him, in the next 2 or 3 years, people will be really hyped up about him a lot. And I just like how he can find areas of space outside of that striker position. So a typical striker is supposed to be in between the sticks and, you know, get you know, tap-ins or whatever, or create chances for him. But Gonçalo Ramos, if you see how he drifts to the left a little bit, he drifts to the right, and he's got this rocket of a left foot. You saw that in the World Cup, absolute rocket of a left foot. This is the type of player I need Benny McCarthy to work with. This is the type of player I need Ten Hag to work with, because if Ten Hag can work and Benny McCarthy can work with him in the next 2 or 3 seasons or 2 seasons or so, imagine what we could do, the way we could build this player up. And we need to look for the future. Victor Osimhen, 100% bring him to Manchester United. But if we're also a serious organisation, we need to be bringing in the likes of Gonçalo Ramos, 100%.
He does. I've got to admit, I've not watched him too much, so I can't comment too highly. But he does look very, very good, and I do like the look of him. His age is just ridiculous. And plus as well, we know that Manchester United over the years, we like that versatile striking option.
Yeah.
He can do that number 9, but he can also, you know, when Nunes was there last year, he weren't really necessarily putting in the numbers, but he was facilitating Nunes highly. Now he's stepped into it, and he's came up trump for goals as well. 21 years old is a big thing to do, and you know what, I might be looking to him even. See, he's been scouted for Man United, hasn't he? Because apparently Ten Hag likes to play, but he said 130 mil release clause, that puts people off. Doesn't
matter. We got the Qataris. Break the bank.
Ooh, Charlie's gone rogue. He's put a poll in by himself.
Oh, okay.
The poll is, who should Man United bring in, Osimhen, Kane or Ramos?
Oh, well, Osimhen's going to win.
What's your vote, though?
Yeah, Osimhen's going to win.
What's your vote?
Yeah, Osimhen.
You would rather have Osimhen over Ramos?
Yeah, Victor Osimhen.
You would have Osimhen? I thought you were Team Ramos.
No, I'm Team Ramos, but Victor Osimhen is on a different level. I mean, he will bring me results now. I'm still thinking Gonçalo Ramos is a world-class player in the making. He's a world-class player in the making. I'm still having scouted him and looked at him thinking, we need to be looking at him in the future, maybe not this summer, maybe next summer, see if he can sustain these numbers next season as well, because obviously Nunes has now moved on and you see his numbers. But I need results next season. I'm going to Champions League next season. I want to be going to Wembley next season.
Just so you know, I think Ramos could come in and bring results. But I'm Team Osimhen. I've been saying that from the start. I mean, again, yesterday for Napoli, or was it the day before?
Fantastic.
That header he got up and put it into the corner. I just thought, Valvegos could only dream of scoring that type of header.
He's also out-jumped Cristiano Ronaldo's record, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah,
he's out-jumped
Cristiano Ronaldo's record.
Do you remember when Gonçalo Ramos started the game for Portugal instead of Ronaldo and ended up winning 6-something? He scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
He's a breath of fresh air, that kid. But let's see how the poll gets going. SK says, Beth, list of 4 young goalkeepers for you. I mean, I'll have a look at them after and definitely look into them. I can already recognise a few names that I've been looking at. And yeah, well, I mean, one thing I will say, chat, don't get mad. I tweeted about this earlier, baiting people in. Spain national team.
Goodbye. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a good show. No, Beth, what are you doing?
No, I'm just telling you. Spain national team, new manager, still not part of the squad. Second choice goalkeeper, Sanchez, part of the squad. David's not in there. I don't agree with that. I think David's better than Sanchez, 100%. But it's interesting to think 2 different coaches haven't called him up to the Spain national team.
Right. Martial has a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract. When was the last time he got called for France?
Let's just not even. How are you even comparing that? And he got called up for France. He's been called up for France sooner than David Hay's been.
He's been called up for France to tell him, stay where you are, mate.
Deschamps has called him up in the past. I'm not making it a thing. I just think people should open their eyes to this fact that.
Has he got a runners-up medal?
No, I'm just saying. Right, Faz, you're using an argument that is completely just twisted right now. I just wanted to bring it up because obviously you always kind of go for me on that subject. I'm just saying I'm not the only one who thinks he has deficiencies.
No, sure.
There is world-class coaches out there that also think he has, world-class might be a bit far. There is very good coaches out there that also, Luis Enrique is, good coaches out there that also see deficiencies in his game. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, when everyone always comes for me,
there's
professional coaches out there that see the same thing.
I'm only pulling your leg. I do agree, David De Gea, we need to upgrade. We do. We need to bring in someone, not for next season, the season after. I'm happy for David De Gea for next season, 100%. David De Gea can stay next season, no problem at all. But then we need to take next season and have someone to study off from David De Gea. By the way, a goalkeeper, unless he's playing games, is cold. Goalkeepers need to play games. They need scenarios. They need to face shots. They need to face crosses. So there's no point getting a goalkeeper and just replacing David De Gea totally. I would rather David De Gea still be my keeper next season and we go and get a goalkeeper for the benefit of the future. Again, we have to think of the future in 2 seasons' time. It's not just you think next season only. You have to think of 2 seasons, 3 seasons ahead.
I mean, the poll, I can't believe that. It actually stopped my speech because I couldn't believe it. I mean, 82% Osimhen, Kane has got 8% and Ramos has got 10%.
Yeah,
Kane's the lowest vote on that.
Kane's the lowest vote, yeah, and rightly so as well.
Okay.
Rightly so.
Rightly so?
Yeah, rightly so. Yeah. Rightly so. Fantastic player. Absolutely top-class player, Harry Kane. But I think he would rather have a statue at Tottenham Hotspur than come to Man United at this point. His contract situation has been atrocious, if you ask me. It's really bad the way they did his contract, and he couldn't leave Tottenham, and he wanted to. Obviously, Man City looked at him as well, and I think it'll just be one of those stories where he's going to go down as Tottenham Hotspur's, best striker, and that's where the story ends. There's nothing more to the story. You never know, Faz. You never know. Right, look at this. Right, let me put you this: Harry Kane comes to Manchester United, summer 2023. Summer 2024, by that time, Harry Kane miraculously has won us 2 trophies. Not going to mention which, 2 trophies, right? Rides off into the sunset. Is he going to win another trophy in 2025? 2026? I'm thinking future. Victor Osimhen comes in, right? Absolutely starving for success. Wins a trophy, let's say, next season. Wins 2 trophies. Not enough. Go again. Not enough. These are the type of players I need. I need future motivated players. Harry Kane gets 1 trophy with Man United, and let me guarantee you, he's riding off. He's retiring. That's like fantastic for me to be Premier League's, top goal scorer. Go chase that record, get a trophy with Man United. RVP-esque. Come from Arsenal to Man United, come from Tottenham to Man United, win a trophy, and then all is well. Thank you very much. And obviously fans will love him if he wins trophies, sure. But again, I need future, because if Harry Kane comes in and then dips out in a season or 2 seasons, then I'm back to square one. I'm back to looking for the next Victor Osimhen. Who's the next Victor Osimhen? And then by that time, Victor's gone somewhere else.
Yeah, I also would prefer Osimhen, but I think Kane's a brilliant player. I just couldn't believe how low his percentage was on that. Dennis, it's an interesting point you make about that then, though. But some people would come along and say, what if he leaves us for Real Madrid, Osimhen, in a couple of years? No. But I doubt that would happen. We're Premier League's biggest league in the world right now.
Yeah. The way we need to be moving is, we need to move in as players want to come to. We got Casemiro from Real Madrid to Manchester United. Casemiro could have stayed in Real Madrid, by the way. And he could have won the Champions League this season. I think Real Madrid are one of the favourites. But he decided to come for a new challenge, and he chose Manchester United. I think players will start now with Qatar coming in, with Ten Hag being here. I think players will start looking at Manchester United like, this is a serious team. This is a team that can go into competing with the best of the best, which is Real Madrid, which is Bayern Munich, which is Barcelona. Well, not Barcelona, but yeah, the best of the best. And I would, if you ask me, going into the future, Real Madrid or Manchester United, well, it's a good conversation to have. And I want players to come to Manchester United. And if we keep winning, players wouldn't want to leave anyways. Yeah. They'd want to stay anyways.
That's very, very true. Dennis SG2000 says dealing with Daniel Levy is a nightmare. Yeah, 100% is. And the vote ended on 8% Kane, 9% Ramos, and 82% Osimhen. Anyway, the show is just kind of ran away with us there, completely ran away with us. Faz, you've been an unbelievable guest, but I have one thing that I ask at the end of these shows, and I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What are your three top priority, quite quickly, three top priority positions for the summer, and the three players you'd like to fill them?
Ball carrying midfielder, top world class striker. This is gonna blow a lot of people, but a goalkeeper. Yeah.
You come for me every time on the show. Faz comes for me every time. Beth, what do you think about De Gea today? What do you think about De Gea today? And you've come in and I've persuaded you, haven't I?
No, David De Gea's atrocious distributions persuaded me. But yeah, I want a goalkeeper still for the future.
And which player profiles would you look at?
That doesn't matter. There's some fantastic goalkeepers, Raya, Costa. There's some fantastic goalkeepers out there. And I know people will say, they come off their line and they lose the ball and this, that, the other. Onana's another one, you know, who wants to be an outfield player more than a goalkeeper. But again, future, thinking of the future. Eventually, we want to get to a situation where we face less shots. Because David De Gea is such a brilliant goalkeeper, and we see that because he also faces a lot of shots. We want to stop that from happening. We want to stop our goalkeeper from facing thingy shots. And also, there's young goalkeepers that we can nurture and make them into fantastic goalkeepers. So, yeah.
Well, it's like Ederson at City. I think De Gea is a way better shot stopper than Ederson, 100%.
Yeah.
But he never really has to,
as well.
he doesn't really have to shot stop him that much. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because they're always got possession of the ball, and I'm not saying we'll play exactly like City will, but there is, when teams play a high possession based game, you're not as prone to them counter attacks as much. But I mean, Faz, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Prediction for the Fulham game, actually, score prediction.
I think it'll be 2-1.
2-1 to Man United.
I think it'll be 1-1, and then we'll have to get a sneaky goal later on in the second half to win the game.
Do you know what? I'm going with that as well. I'm going with 2-1. That's what I've been feeling all week. But everyone, get your score predictions in the comments down below as well. And thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon for my show on me and Faz, talking Qatar, talking about the Fulham game, talking about, I mean, Faz wants a new goalkeeper. Who would have knew? And
don't clip that. I don't consent.
You don't consent to that. But it's looking very, very good. It looks like the Glazers are going to be gone sooner rather than later. And Qatar look like the front runners. They want to put another bid, and that's the main point to take away from the show today. Obviously, 3 shows deep at this point. I'm going to leave you all here today. Mark's going to be on for the 8 p.m. show. Hopefully some more news out by them as well. Sir Jim might be done with his meetings by that point. But look, everyone, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you to Faz. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to Charlie as the producer role. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Get your comments in down below. And I'll see you on the next one.